We really thank them for that.
The van driver has been jailed for 12 years after running down a 3-year-old girl who was visiting Manchester with her parents. A court heard how 36-year-old Raoul Roman had taken at least 20 lines of cocaine before it happened in February. The King's warned Canada is facing a critical moment as he spoke at the opening of the country's parliament. The remarks come after Donald Trump's threatened to make Canada part of the United States. Adidas says customers' personal information has been stolen in a cyber attack. The sportswear giant has apologised, but says passwords and credit card data were not compromised. In the city, the FTSE 100 closed up 60 points at 87.78. The pound buys $1.35 and €1.19. Obviously, weather, rain clearing eastwards to leave a mostly dry night. Showers lingering in central areas, a low of 2 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm Daryl Jackson.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation. Cross Question with Ian Dale.
A very good evening and welcome to Tuesday's Cross Question here on LBC. On my panel tonight, David Aronovich, journalist and broadcaster, Lucy Fraser, former Conservative Culture Secretary, Emma Sinclair, tech entrepreneur, and she's the Chief Executive of Enterprise Alumni, and Ollie Dugmore, Editor-in-Chief of the news and entertainment website joe.co.uk. They're here to answer all of your questions, whatever they may be. We have a very broad church here, so you can frankly ask something. I hesitate to say whatever you like, but you know what I mean, within reason. And you can also watch us on Global Player and the LBC app.
Call 0345 60 60 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850. Cross Question with Ian Dale. This is LBC.
Right, let's do our first text question with James in Hitchin. He is asking, does the panel support the apparent new precedent when it comes to high-profile incidents of violence, that the police feel obliged to inform the public about the alleged assailant's demographics within a matter of hours? So obviously referring to the Liverpool incident last night where the police described the man as a 53-year-old white male. Now, when they said that, I must admit, I did think to myself, now, why are they doing this? And I instantly thought, well, it must be to do with the Southport attacks. At that point, we didn't know what the reason was behind the attacks, and they were obviously keen to point out that it was a white British male that perpetrated this horrible act. Lucy Fraser.
I think they did the right thing in this case. I think they did the wrong thing in the Southport case. And I think communication is really important. And I think being honest and factual is important. So I think they did the right thing to identify the facts. And I think that, I know there's a lot of controversy about it and the difference and why did they feel the need to do it. But I do think that in this instance, they got it right.
But they've now created a precedent, haven't they? If, say something similar happened next week, let's hope it doesn't, but say something similar happened and it was somebody who's Asian or black or Chinese, do you think that they would almost then be duty bound to say that as well?
No, I don't think so. I think that...
So it should only be said when somebody's white.
I think that in many cases you should consider matters on a case-by-case basis, and I think it was the right thing to do in this case. In another case, it might be the wrong thing. And I think that they shouldn't feel duty-bound to do a particular thing. They will, of course, be exposing themselves to criticism if they don't do it, and I'm sure there'll be a furore whatever they do in some sense, but I don't think that they should be bound to follow the precedent that they've set.
David Aronovich.
Yeah, it has the effect of meaning that people don't stand outside mosques trying to burn them down, trying to burn asylum seekers out because they immediately don't have. I suppose they could go over to West Derby where the suspect is from and start burning down a few pubs. And if that were to happen, then I imagine people would feel that was an indiscretion on the part of the police. And this is absolutely right. This is done for this reason, and you won't do it under every circumstance that's imaginable. I don't think you will, but there will be a demand. I think the idea, however, that this will stop people spreading misinformation is unfortunately untrue, because we have a significant proportion of people online who are dedicated to the proposition that no matter what happens, they will use it to fit in to their preconception about what has happened. But in the case of cars being driven into crowds, which has become a terrorist tactic in many places over the course of usually lone wolf types of terrorism, over the course of the last 10 years. When was that big Nice lorry? That was about 10 years ago, wasn't it? Since then, I think it's not surprising that they wanted to make absolutely clear that the suspect wasn't fitting any profile that anybody could kind of get really intemperate about.
Ollie Tuckman.
Well, it's set up probably pretty clear evidence of a potential two-tip policing system, right? Every time that there's a very serious incident that's perpetrated by a white person, the police are very quick to say, don't worry guys, it's been conducted by a white person, so let's definitely not do any race rioting as a result.